The African wild ass, Equus africanus, is a wild member of the horse family, found in the arid regions of northeastern Africa. It is one of the two subspecies of the African wild ass, the other being the Somali wild ass. The African wild ass is currently classified as endangered, with populations declining due to habitat loss and hunting. There are an estimated 570 individuals left in the wild. They stand at around 1.2 to 1.4 meters tall at the shoulder and weigh between 200 and 300 kilograms. In terms of body shape, African wild asses have a robust build with relatively short, stocky legs and a large head. They have a sandy brown coat with a lighter underbelly and legs, and a black stripe along their spine. They also have a short, erect mane and a tufted tail. African wild asses are well adapted to life in the harsh, arid environments of northeastern Africa, where they primarily feed on tough, woody vegetation. They have a special digestive system that allows them to extract water from their food more efficiently, enabling them to go without water for long periods of time. The lifespan of the African wild ass in the wild is not well documented, but it is estimated to be around 20 to 30 years. In captivity, they can live up to 40 years. The lifespan of an individual African wild ass can be affected by several factors, including the availability of food and water, predation, disease, and habitat quality. However, in general, they have a relatively long lifespan compared to other wild equids, which is thought to be due in part to their ability to survive in arid, resource-limited environments. African wild asses are social animals that typically live in small herds consisting of a dominant male, several females, and their offspring. They are active during the day and rest in the shade during the hottest part of the day. The African wild ass is an herbivore and primarily feeds on tough, woody vegetation, such as shrubs and thorny plants, that are adapted to arid environments. African wild asses have a special digestive system that allows them to extract water from their food more efficiently, which helps them to survive in areas with limited water resources. They are able to break down tough plant material with the help of specialized bacteria in their digestive tract, which allows them to extract more nutrients from their food. In addition to tough vegetation, African wild asses will also eat grasses and other small plants when they are available. They have a relatively low metabolic rate, which means that they are able to survive on a diet that is not particularly nutrient-dense. African wild asses are well adapted to life in arid environments and can go without water for long periods of time. In areas where African wild asses come into contact with domestic livestock, competition for resources can be a significant problem. In some cases, domestic livestock can outcompete wild asses for grazing areas and other resources, which can lead to declines in wild ass populations. African wild asses make a variety of sounds to communicate with one another. One of the most well-known sounds they make is the bray, which is a loud, distinctive, and somewhat comical-sounding call. The bray is usually associated with donkeys, but African wild asses also make this noise. In addition to the bray, African wild asses can make a range of other vocalizations, including snorts, grunts, and whinnies. These vocalizations are used to communicate with one another, and can convey information about the animal's age, sex, and social status. African wild asses are social animals that live in small herds, and communication is an important part of their social behavior. By making vocalizations and other nonverbal signals, they can establish dominance hierarchies, defend their territory, and coordinate group activities like grazing and traveling. African wild asses are generally shy and elusive, and will flee from predators such as lions, hyenas, and wild dogs. When threatened, they may kick or bite, and can run at speeds of up to 50 km per hour. Breeding typically occurs between a dominant male and several females in his herd. Mating behavior in African wild asses is characterized by a series of vocalizations, displays of aggression, and courtship rituals. Males will often engage in elaborate displays of dominance, such as braying loudly, chasing off other males, and rolling in the dust. Females typically give birth to a single foal after a gestation period of around 11 months. The foal is able to stand and walk shortly after birth and will stay with its mother for several months before becoming independent. African wild asses reach sexual maturity at around 2 to 3 years of age. In the wild, breeding patterns are often influenced by environmental factors such as food availability and water resources. In areas with limited resources, breeding may be more limited, and females may have longer intervals between pregnancies. In captivity, breeding can be managed through controlled mating programs and artificial insemination. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for even more viewing pleasure. Don't forget, like and comment. Feel free to share.